All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on the first ever food prep live fiesta, whatever you want to call it, a party. We're having a party. So I'm so excited you guys are here. And for those of you who have not arrived yet, we are welcome to join in anytime. You're also welcome to um, cook alongside me or not, whatever you wish. And for those who are on the recording, I'm so glad you're getting a chance to watch the recording. And hopefully you're going to be learning some great things today. Some time-saving tips. We're going to learn how to prepare meals in bulk that are going to keep you going and fueled all week long. Money-saving tips. So here's the thing. How many times have you brought home veggies or fruits and you, with all the hope in the world, the tears in your eyes, like, this is it, I'm going to be a new woman, and you put them in the fridge, and then 3 weeks later there's a science experiment like waiting for you to like dig out and throw away. I can't even tell you how many times I've done this. So how much money are we going to save by actually making the food right away and using it? It's going to be so good. The other way we're going to save money is, how many times do you get home at the end of the day, or you're just fatigued and tired and you want to just go order out food? I can't even tell you how many times I've ordered pizza, gone out for fast food, or quite frankly, just ate a bowl of cereal because I can't decide what to make. And there's nothing handy and everything just feels too hard and too much. So it's going to save money and time and energy also. So you're going to set yourself up with successful meals that are so quick to grab and that you'll actually want to eat. So for those of you who, this is what we're going to expect for today. Got a couple notes that I'm looking at. We're going to start with the foods that we're going to prep this week are the fajitas. There's one more person. So I'll just hold for just a second till Catherine gets up and on. And I may even just do a little repeating of what I had just said, that we're going to save time, find ways to save time, money, and energy by food prepping. It's the best. It's so the best. We'll start with making the fajitas, and then while they're cooking, we're going to just throw on some hard-boiled eggs. While that's happening, after that happens, we have to do something with the chicken. Then when that's cooking, we're going to make our salads. And then I'm going to show you what I do for my smoothie recipe that I love, that helps keep me fueled and it helps level up my blood sugar. So I'm going to give you the tips that I use for my smoothie recipe. Okay, you guys good? That sounds okay? Good. All right. Again, you can prep alongside or just watch. Either way, it's perfectly perfect. Looks like a beautiful day out there, by the way, Catherine. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty outside. I'm so glad. Also, ask any questions. Just need to unmute when you're ready to ask a question. Just chime in. This is very casual. Or if you'd rather write it in the chat. The chat is set to private, so I'm the only one that can see it, but you can just jot any questions down in the chat. I am recording today, so you will get the recording within 48 hours after this is over. But just know that this will be going out to the public, so I am recording. Just wanted to give you that heads up. For those of you who do not know me, I am Amy. I've lost 80 pounds and kept it off for the last 5 years with the help of the tools that I teach my clients. And so those tools are to notice what you're eating without judgment, to eat only when you're physically hungry, and to celebrate all the wins as you're tracking your progress. So where food prep comes in is because we wait till we're physically hungry. Sometimes when we're ready to eat, we need food like now because we've waited. So the good news is you've waited, right? So you're not eating and grazing all the time. So you want to have some healthy things ready to go so that it's just as easy to grab a candy bar as it is a nice salad that you've created. So when I was first married, Greg and I was not a very confident cook. I wouldn't say I'm serious, like an actually confident cook yet. I'm still working on this, but I really just gave up. So my husband and I mostly ate everything that was frozen, anything in the frozen food aisle, tater tots, fish sticks. It was that was the joke. That was what we ate when I was first married. No surprise, I weighed over 225 pounds very quickly. Lots of, very not super healthy food. It was not a part of my it wasn't a part of my repertoire. Let's just say that. So I then I decided to lose weight. And so what I did was, because I'm still not a confident cook, I went for the pre-portioned processed foods, which was a la Weight Watchers, Stouffer's, Lean Cuisine, things like that. But still ended up overeating because I would just eat 2 or 3 of them instead of, you know, the pre-portion size. So I still didn't I quite understand the whole hunger and smaller portion thing and that kind of thing. So that also did not work for me. My husband and I also have very different tastes. I love all kinds of food and he likes very few. But unfortunately, like if you're like thinking of that Venn diagram, like 2 big circles, there's my circle is giant, his circle is a lot smaller. But where we intersect is almost nothing. Like there's hardly anything that we both like. And so again, I would just feel defeated and like I don't even know what to make. And he doesn't like anything with cheese or mayonnaise or anything creamy. I know. Don't even get me started. So he likes just, certain things, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So the way I cook now, it enables me to cook for everyone in our family, whoever, whatever their tastes are. Sometimes we'll sit down to eat and we just eat 2 different things. And that's been such a huge breath of fresh air and it's such a relief for me. So once I learned about the magic of food prep, it helped me to realize that I can go in the fridge any time of any day of the week, and there's prepped. I wash all my fruit as soon as I come in from the store. I'll show you guys how I store it. My salads are already made. The meals are made for the evening. It's all just ready to go. And it just makes it so easy to eat healthy when the food is already prepped. It's just such a great way to care for my body and care for myself. So I'm going to talk about some of the shortcuts that I've learned over the years that helped me keep this habit going. I've been doing this actually for about 5 years, the food prep piece. Typically on a Sunday after church. Right now we're online church because I care for my mother-in-law, but after church is over, I'll head over here and I'll either make big mess of pancakes or do my food prep for the week, whatever I have planned. The other thing about food prep is I'm prepping all the time. So we had company for dinner on Friday night, and we instead of just making a couple pieces of grilled chicken, we just did the whole family pack. And Greg was grilling it anyway, so we just threw the whole thing on there. So this week we're gonna have a lot of food. We have chicken left over from Friday night. I also made a big massive mashed potatoes. My mother-in-law loves those. She had some dental issues, so she had to have soft food. So I just made a big old pile of mashed potatoes and they refrigerate very well and they heat up super easily, not a problem. Same thing with green beans. I made a big mess of green beans too. So that's all the way I do it. Basically, anything I make, I always ask myself, what if I'm making it anyway, can I just, double or triple the recipe and make a bunch? So I do that. I've been doing that with pancakes for years. When Ben was here, I would make his chocolate chip pancakes and then make them, let them cool off, throw them in the freezer in a Ziploc bag. I do that all the time now with my Kodiak pancakes. Some other time we'll talk about those, how I make those. And I make them for my mother-in-law. She wanted French toast the other day, so I love raisin French toast. She loves raisin French toast. So I made, instead of just 1 or 2 pieces, I just made like 12 or 10 or whatever. So she'll have them for the week. So basically anything I can do, if I'm doing it anyway, all the stuff is out. I just make a bunch and then throw it in the freezer when at all possible. Okay. So let's get started. So let me just I always take my rings off. I'll make all my jewelry. I have by the way, today's my sister Maggie's birthday. You guys, those of you who know, she passed away 2 years ago, and today she would have been, I think, 67. So, and then this is for my other sister Sue. It's a little thing, and I throw my rings in here while I'm cooking. So do that. So I'm throwing you all the tricks from soup to nuts, and then I get my little apron on because I'm kind of a mess. So the apron goes on because I will be making a mess. I always do. So you guys have the recipe for the sheet pan fajitas. So we're going to start with cutting up the bell peppers and onions. If you haven't done that yet, I've done most of them. Actually, I'm gonna adjust something. I'll be right back. Hmm. You can see the cutting board. I have things like stacked way up here. So, so we want you to be able to at least see me a little bit. Okay, let me grab, I'll be right back again. So, oh, the other thing, oh, before I even start with that, go ahead and start cutting your peppers a while. I'm going to talk while you guys are chopping. Basically, you're going to chop your three bell peppers within like 1/4 inch thick slices. Okay, so I like however you like them for your fajitas. I like them pretty thin. So go ahead and chop them. I'll show you what mine look like. And I've done most. I'm going to do two more. I'm going to do another onion and another pepper with you. But before that, I wanted to show you some of my shortcuts. So this doesn't follow me all the way over to the freezer. This is my chicken that I tried to dry. I like to dry out the chicken. So I buy it from Aldi's and this little bag. It's a frozen bag of tenderloins. And in order to get the dry rub to stick to it, I like to dry them off. So I put a bunch of paper towels underneath and a bunch of paper towels on top to kind of blot them dry. And I just threw them in the fridge so because I was waiting for you guys, but I like to get them nice and dry. That's super helpful. But oh, what I was gonna say was when you're food prepping, some things that help is having like the trash can right handy. If that's like move the trash can over so you're not making extra steps because the whole idea is you're trying to get a lot done in a short amount of time because you don't want to have to like worry about it for the rest of the year, for the rest of the week. I would say food prep for me takes on average about 2 to 3 hours, depending on what I'm making. So you want to try to be really efficient with your time. The other thing that's my very best friend, I love this thing. It's called the garbage bowl. So when I'm cooking, this is where all the seeds from the peppers go, all the garbage, and then this goes into that. So I'm not constantly like having to like go to the garbage can. If you guys ever watched Rachel Ray back in the day, she did a 30-minute meal. I loved her. And so she's like, this is a girl's best friend, the old GB. I'm like, yes, it is. It is really is my best friend. So I keep it out all the time. I'm always throwing stuff in the garbage bowl. And then every once in a while I clean it out. It's okay that it's gross. It's got stuff in it, but I love that piece. The other thing about food prep is maybe buying multiples of some things. So extra measuring cups, extra measuring spoons, extra sheet pans, so I have about 4 of these rimmed baking sheets. They're really helpful to have. This is my salad spinner, which we'll talk about when I make the salads. That's another piece of equipment that has been super valuable, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. Sometimes just getting a bunch of extra bowls. I went over to good old Home Goods and I just bought a whole bunch of extra mixing bowls. I've gotten some as gifts for this is one. I have this one also and another bigger one. That's our popcorn bowl. Because you can tell how much popcorn we eat. It's a lot. But these are great for tossing, veggies and stuff like that. When this recipe, I'm doing the single recipe. When Ben was here, I would double this recipe. I needed this bowl because it's a lot more peppers. So these bigger bowls are really handy to have too, for that. So yeah, just finding some extra things. For those of you who love crock pots or Instapots, buying a second crock pot might be an option for you. Greg is not a fan of crock pot food. Go figure, right? So we don't really do crock pot stuff for me. But some people, they'll just buy 2 crock pots and you can actually have 2 other meals going while you're doing this other stuff. And then you'll have an extra 2 meals for the week. Instapot, I'm not familiar with that, but I hear it's really helpful. So that might be something to invest in if that's something you can have something going in an Instapot while you're chopping vegetables for something else. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about some of those equipment-y kinds of things. Whoops, hang on. Okay, let me see. Okay, hang on. There we go. Okay, so All right, sheet pan fajitas. All right, so we're gonna finish cutting my garbage bowl there. This is the finished one, and this is my garbage bowl. And this is how I cut peppers. So I learned this on I don't know where, probably a cooking show or something. And so you just for me, I can't stand the seeds. They drive me nuts. So you cut around the seeds. You cut like that, and then I cut the bottom off. So it makes nice and straight. So you have this, what's left over, that goes in the garbage bowl. And then you have nice straight strips to cut. So anyone have any questions while I'm working, while we're talking, while we're cooking? You're all good? Good. So one of the things I was thinking about was Halloween and how we're getting ready for Halloween. While we're cooking, I thought we'll just talk about some things that I have coming up. We have a group called the Lose It Forever Weight Loss Program. That's so fun for those of you who are interested. If you're feeling like, losing weight is super lonely and hard and just drudgery, yet again, like trying to find ways to lose weight, we have a blast in that group. And some of the things we talk about are we're doing some challenges. For example, right now we're doing, which is basically we're helping each other out, encouraging each other as we try to stop eating at enough, which means we're stopping to eat before we're physically overly stuffed and learning our body's hunger signals and satiation signals and encouraging each other that way. Recently we did waiting for hunger challenge, same idea where we're learning to just learn that hunger is not an emergency. You can actually live off of your fat stores on your body for a long time. That's what we're designed for. It's amazing. So that was just such a fun time. People would post we have a private Facebook community. We encourage each other there. And then also what we would have coming up is we're going to be talking about Halloween, how to treat yourself for Halloween, with some other treats that do not involve food. And I was also thinking just in general about Halloween, and that's coming up. And I thought I would share, while I'm cutting stuff up here, what I do for Halloween and how we handle it. I don't know if this is a problem for you guys, but there were years when Greg and I would get candy, and basically from Halloween through New Year's, just eat everything in sight. We're like, oh, well, it's starting now. We don't have to watch what we're eating from, October till January. And then I realized that really wasn't a way to maintain or lose weight to do that. So I'm like, we need to come up with a different strategy. So one of the things we do for Halloween, just to start with, let's go like, okay, here we are, buckle up. First of all, I eat all the food. We know food is bad, right? So we're noticing what we're eating, but we're not judging it. So I do put Halloween candy on my plan, and I allow myself to have Halloween candy. So that said, I also don't want to overeat it. So the way we manage it, we don't have too many kids in our neighborhood. So we try to notice what how many kids came last year. Greg is really good at it. He's like a numbers guy. So I'm sure he has a spreadsheet somewhere of how many children visited our house. And then he puts that on the calendar. So he'll say something like, we bought 5 bags of candy last year and only used 3. So this year, let's just buy, 4 bags or whatever, just to try to minimize how much extra we have. So that's a strategy that might be helpful for you guys, is just to minimize how much candy to eat that you even have. The big one, the really big one, is we try not to keep it in the house very long. So it's kind of hard nowadays, especially. They don't keep it around. They seem to run out from time to time. So we don't want to run out. We don't want to be those people that don't have any candy, because we want to be hospitable to our neighbors. So we love to see the kids, and they come to our house on Halloween. But so we just try to be judicious about when we buy it. So I'm thinking, Greg is thinking that maybe, when is it, like 2 weeks from now, I think he's thinking that he might be buying it soon, but not too soon. So that's one of the other tips. The other thing is you don't have to buy it at all. Like the truth is you could just decide, you know what, it's really hard on me to have Halloween candy in the house. So maybe I just won't have Halloween. I'll turn my light off. I'll go do something else. I'll go shopping. I'll find someplace else to go because I'm just not really, a candidate to have it around. In some ways, it was easier when I was working because of course I could just take it to my office. I would share it. I worked in a physical therapy office and I could drop it off there. The patients loved it. Oh my gosh. The day after Halloween, we always had so much candy at the PT office. But yeah, patients love it. The other people could enjoy it. If you go to a church or something, you can share it with that. The leftover stuff. I just love getting rid of it especially once Halloween's over and you've had what you want. If you have decided to eat the candy, um, and I'm trying to think. Oh, the other thing was you could just throw it out. I know it's possible. I mean, when you think about the cost of the Halloween candy, which is what, like a couple bucks a bag, versus the cost to your emotional well-being, the cost of medical bills because you're gaining some weight, the cost of the urges you're having if you're not normally eating sugar and all of a sudden you go face down in some sugar, that cost that's a big cost also. So it's just really evaluating the cost. Sometimes people think, oh, I can't possibly get rid of something because I will, it'll cost too much. Oh, before I forget, I just realized something very important. Stop what you're doing, Kathy and Jan. You need to go put the oven on 400 degrees and throw the sheet pan in there so that the sheet pan gets hot. Okay. Yeah, I screwed it up. Of course, screwed it up already. That's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, let me back up. If this was okay, we're gonna take two. Hi, welcome to the thing. All right, we're gonna start over. We're gonna put the thing in the oven, put the sheet pan in the oven so it gets really hot and like sizzly, so that when we pour these yummy veggies on there, they're gonna go. So, okay, there we go. Now back to our story. So Halloween, yeah, go ahead. Yes. Oh, yeah, and let me
Here, I got it. With sizzles, do we put oil on it before we put it in the oven? No, just okay.
you just put the sheet, wait. You just put the sheet pan in plain. You're gonna put, according to the recipe, it's a tablespoon and a half of some type
Vegetable.
of oil, vegetable oil or avocado oil. We're gonna mix that in your veggies
Okay.
and toss them in that. So that's
Okay.
why it'll sizzle. In fact, I'll just do that now. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So
Thanks.
I actually measured ahead of time. So normally, let me just tell you, in fact, I thought I would start a YouTube channel of the incompetent cook. That would be me because I feel like I'm kind of a mess in the kitchen. I'm not gonna lie. It's not really like for some people, it's their zen happy place. It's getting there, I would say. This is the best so far. Let me just tell you, this is the most fun I've had in the kitchen because I love hanging out and talking with you guys. Go ahead, Kathy. Yep. And
Are you
unmute.
mixing
Yeah.
something in with the peppers? Are you mixing the oil in with the peppers?
So yes, half of the oil. So in the top, it says 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil or grapeseed or avocado oil divided. So it's a tablespoon and a half, or just do it to coat. Like, for those, I'm just doing it the right way. But normally I just go, it looks good. I just pour it in there. So yes. So once those veggies are done and the oven is preheated. So now for mine, I have to wait because I should have done that sooner and I forgot. So I have a little bit of an onion to cook to slice. And you guys know how to make the sliced onions so they're like a C, right? You're doing it like that. And make
Yep.
sure you don't cut your fingers off, everybody. I am not responsible if anyone loses limbs. I'm just saying. I just learned this method of cutting onions, that this is how you're supposed to do it for French onion soup. You cut the equator, the North Pole and the
Mhm.
South Pole off, and then you turn it on its side, and then you cut it in half across the equator, and then you, or no, equator? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, and then you make them so they look like little C's. And that's the best way for French onion soup. It holds them together better. It's better, I don't know, somehow better for the integrity of the onion or something. I don't know. But I learned that. I did learn that.
And
So-
Amy does do the oh my God, what am I want to say? The chili powder, the cumin, the garlic. Does that all go in the vegetables or
No, that's going to go. So what I've done is made it dry. It's a dry rub that's going to go on the meat
chicken?
after the veggies are done. So while the veggies are cooking, they're going to cook for about 8 minutes. While they're cooking, we're going to deal with the meat. So once we get them in the oven, we'll deal with the meat. But you can start, if you want to start measuring those things out, if you're done all your veggies and you're waiting, whenever you come up for air, that's the next thing we're going to do. So yeah,
Okay.
good question. Good question.
Amy?
Yeah.
I have a fajita seasoning packet from Simply Organic. Can assuming I can just use that?
All right. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, whatever you want.
So
just, yeah. Yeah. And again, that doesn't do anything. That's just going to go in the chicken. So what's going to happen is these they just get roasted like normally, like you would normally roast them. I guess you could I don't really put anything else except for the oil on them. I'm using avocado oil today. But I don't put salt and pepper or anything on these because the seasoning is so intense on the chicken. That's what actually flavors the fajitas. It's very good. So good. Okay. But yeah, I don't think it matters. You just your spices of choice. So actually, while that's cooked, since I forgot to do my chicken strips like I was supposed to, I am gonna start cutting these a while. So what I've done is I was telling Jan, I like to dry them off really well. The chicken gets I buy it frozen and it's really wet and juicy. So I like to make sure it's nice and dry. And so we're going to use this same bowl once we put this on the sheet pan. So for now, I'm just keeping them on this cookie sheet, this baking sheet for now. I'm going to let them dry up, but I'm going to slice them into 1/4 or 1/2 inch slices, kind of just a little bit smaller. So I'm using tenderloins. So you just want to make them a little bit smaller than they are because you want them to be easy to eat basically. So like this would be too big. It's like wiggly. This will be too big. So I'm going to cut this into like 2 or 3 slices probably. So, and keep them nice and dry. I hate wet, slimy food. So, all right, I'm going to mute. Jan, I think.
Oh,
But that's fine. You're fine. I got you. It's all good. And then but of course, unmute anytime, of course. So do you guys have any, I know we're talking and cooking at the same time. Do you guys have any Halloween strategies that have worked for you? Or are you dreading it? Anything coming up for you guys as we're thinking about it?
I don't buy candy because for about the last 6 or 7 years, I get maybe 5. And it seems as though 6 or 7 years have gone by, it's really even dwindled more. So I don't even buy it. I don't turn my light on.
Yeah, that's I kind of love that. Catherine, did you want to unmute? Here, yeah, I can help you, but give me 1 second. There. How's that? Never mind. There's a button for me to push. No. It should come up where it should say ask to unmute. There you go. Perfect.
Okay,
Oh, you're in the sun.
yeah, I'm gonna stay unmuted, and if I become noisy either with the wind or whatever, let me know. But
Okay.
I always laugh about the whole Halloween thing because the candy lasts, and I would say lasts because we didn't really make a change from October to March, April with Easter.
Really?
I think, and I just mean that it's just like a continual candy, like it just keeps showing up through the holidays. You've got
Yes.
October,
Yeah.
you've got Halloween, then Thanksgiving, then the Christmas candy, and then you've got New Year's, and then Valentine's Day is in there too. So there's
that's true.
there. And then here we
Yes.
are, Easter. So
Now
I
that you
felt
say
like
that,
we had so much candy. So I haven't strategized yet, but I'm sure we will.
that's a good point. Yeah, really, Halloween is just, it's not even the beginning. It's sort of like the continuum. You, you know, but it's just, it seems to be an extra amount, or it basically for adults, it's an easy excuse to buy candy.
Yeah,
If
it is.
we don't have kids at home anymore. So it's like, oh, well, Ben's not going to be bringing candy home. Not that we even celebrated. We were actually, we didn't really celebrate Halloween very much when he was a kid. But if he was at school or something and he got candy, we kind of loved that because we would eat the stuff that he didn't want, we would take it off his hands,
Um,
So, go
Amy,
ahead. Yeah.
I have something I wanted to say that I thought you had said early on in our conversation, if it's okay for me to insert.
Yeah.
You had talked about the fact that you and Greg eat so differently. And
Mhm.
so you just cook something different for the both of you, or, you kind of plan
Yeah.
in that direction.
Yeah.
And I was kind of so struck with my own value system and assumptions when you said that. It's like, I guess I don't have to follow that rule. I guess we don't
No,
have to
you
do
don't.
the same thing, do we? And
No.
so how funny that is that I even had that. I never challenged
We
that
all,
question.
yeah, yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up. That was a big one for me. That I use that excuse, and now I see it. It sort of was an excuse because I never challenged it. I never thought about, oh well, I can't because we can't because he doesn't. Yeah, we go to a restaurant and guess what? We all got different things. Like it's not a big deal. We enjoy each other's company. We eat together. We're just not eating the same things. It's the
I
same
love it.
thing. So my mom used to say, "Well, I'm not running a restaurant. You eat what's in front of you." And she had very little tolerance for Greg. And then Ben sort of grew up the same way of being sort of picky eaters. And that was like, I think maybe like one of those old school things that we all borrowed, right, from our well-meaning parents, because my mom grew up in the Depression, and you were just lucky to have food, lady. Like, let me just say, let's not be so snooty about what you're eating. Just be thankful you actually have food, right? So I do think that that might be where it comes from, and it's understandable. Of course, it makes so much sense. But yeah, but I do love that. That's one of the things. Oh, it's done. Wait a minute. I'm gonna wash my hand. My thing is preheated. My oven's preheated. So I'm gonna throw my fajitas on real quick. Sorry. I'm gonna put on my peppers and in the oven. You'll be able to see, I think, back there. And then I'm gonna keep working on my chicken and go ahead and if you haven't made the mix or if you're still working on that, keep going with that. But I'm gonna go ahead and throw my veggies on here.
Is the wind bothering anyone?
I don't think so. I think it's fine. If I see, the only thing, yeah, I'm fine. I think it's fine. For the recording, if it looks like it's a problem, I'll let you know, but it's not highlighted, like I'm the only one highlighted, which is perfect. So that's good. So can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it through my earbuds. It's totally sizzling. It's so fun. Oh my gosh. I just love how it looks. And I know it said 1 onion. I think I did 3 small ones because they were all kind of scuzzy. They were in bad shape. And so I had to cut out most of them. You know how onions get after a minute. So I did 2
My
of
oven
those.
isn't hot yet. It's only on
Yeah,
330, I think.
that's fine. Take your time.
Maybe
There's
it's
no rush.
maybe
Yeah,
it's
there's no.
380. With my vision,
Yeah,
it would be 380. Okay.
that's fine. Yeah, just when you're ready to do this, I'm just showing you this is what you're gonna do. In the meantime, go ahead and prep your chicken. If your veggies are already cut, wait till your oven is heated. And then you're gonna put this in. You're gonna set the timer for 8 minutes. And actually, I like them really roasty, so I might even keep them in a little bit longer. I'm thinking I might do that because I love them. I like them really, uh, extra roasted. So we'll see. There's that. In the meantime, I'm going to keep working. I don't know if you can see. I'm working on my chicken. You can see, I'm just slicing it into smaller. So these are the big pieces, and I'm making them into those, quarter, half-inch-ish slices, and trying to get rid of that, the little tenderloin, that little gross white thing that kind of gets stuck in your teeth. That piece, I'm cutting that out too while I'm doing that. And then what you're going to do is once the bowl is empty from your veggies, you're going to throw the chicken right in there. So that's where it's going to go. And then you're going to toss that around in the dry rub. So there's probably a little bit of oil in the bottom, which is perfect. And then you're going to add the second half of the oil onto the chicken, and then the dry rub. Does that make sense? So fun. So any questions, anything that are coming up for you guys? Are you guys having fun with the stopping at enough? Any success with stopping at enough? Leaving bites behind? Things like that?
I didn't do well yesterday.
It's okay.
Mike and
Let's talk about it.
Mike and I went on a road trip and
Uh-huh.
to see some historic little towns that were part of the Chisholm Trail.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, I live in Oklahoma. So anyway, we stopped at this diner that you cannot stop. I mean, you have to stop there, and they're known for their onion burgers, and I ate every bite.
Okay.
It was delicious. I might add. But I had also gone to lunch with a friend and had a salad.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't even pay attention yesterday.
Okay.
But anyway, I did. It comes with a wonderful muffin. It's kind of their trademark add-on. And
Yeah.
I just had 2 little bites and didn't eat the rest. So I guess you could say I paid attention.
There you go. Yay. Nice.
Anyway.
Nice catch. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you caught a win. And
And
yeah,
no,
you know what?
no French fries. So.
Again, another one you missed, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny what our brains do? We only focus on the one thing, like, well, I didn't leave any bites behind. Well, that's okay. It's actually okay not to leave bites behind if you're actually hungry. And once in a while, if it's something special and you forgot to notice, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Noted. But also, it wasn't a total washout either. And that's our brain is going to say, ugh, I failed, but you didn't. So, yay. I'm glad we talked
Well,
about
let me
that.
add on to that. When I got home, we got home about, I don't know, 4:30.
Yeah.
And I thawed some bread that I had baked and had 2 slices of bread toasted.
Okay. Yeah.
That was
Okay.
not on my plan, but
Well, okay. But my guess is you might have been, it was a long day. Like, tell me what was, or if you want to share what was happening. Were you like tired? Because sometimes
I was
that just,
tired. We walked 2 miles at a park. It was beautiful.
wow.
The weather
That's
and the park we'd never been to. That was fun. And then in Garth Brooks' hometown, Yukon, Oklahoma. And then
okay.
there were some disappointments because the fort was shut down. We didn't know that. We were there during operating hours, but they were not open. And then we went to the museum and it was also closed, and it was not closing time according to their hours. So there's 2, but we could take pictures outside of not the fort, but the museum was on a piece of property that had old farm equipment and a chapel that was built to protect 2 Oklahoma tribes, the Arapaho and the Cherokee, maybe. Anyway, we were able to take pictures of the outside of that stuff. So
Okay.
it was okay. But it was good to be outside and doing something different.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah.
Good to notice. And also, yeah, for me, traveling around, doing some things like that's emotionally draining. And sometimes we use food to replenish ourselves after emotions. What's interesting is just to notice what's actual physical hunger versus emotional hunger sometimes.
Yeah, I was not hungry when I had the bread. I just wanted some.
But bread is awesome. I know. I love bread. That's one of those things that it's good to notice, but also what else? So Do you have any ideas of what you might want to try next time? Or were you happy that it, because this is the thing, you get to decide, like, you know what, I really wanted it. I don't care that it's, I might have to take a hit on the scale, but it was worth it for me in that moment. I don't think I had it in me to make a different decision. And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I guess in hindsight, and it's not a huge deal, it's not earth shattering, but I should have had one piece of bread instead of two.
Okay.
But it was a small loaf, it wasn't a huge mammoth loaf. Anyway, here I am justifying.
All
But,
good. You're catching it. Right?
I'm back on track today.
Yeah. Okay. And guess what? You still have the bread, right?
Yes, there's not much left. I had baked it a while ago and then
Okay.
froze it. And so I'm
Okay.
eating on what was frozen. I
Now,
don't
do
know.
you ever slice it ahead of time?
No, I didn't.
Okay, this is one of those things. This is an Amy trick for you. Anytime as soon as I go to the I'll show you what I have. I'll go dig in my freezer and I'm going to show you what I do. This is how I think I continually. It's like everything that could be a food prep thing is. So when I get bagels, I slice them in half. Obviously, the bagels, because when you get them at Costco, there's two. It's a lot. It's 12 of them. They're huge. I eat a half of one a day. So of course they would go bad if I didn't freeze them. So I freeze.
A half of a half?
No, a half
Half
a
a bagel.
bagel. So it's
Okay.
like a bottom or a top. My poor son, he likes bagel sandwiches and he's like, hey, there's only bottoms here. I'm like, oops. Hey, they're my bagels. Whatever. If you want to come visit, you're welcome to have them for your sandwich, but still my bagels. Anyway, so I cut the bagels immediately and they stay really fresh that way because I basically cut them as soon as I get them home from the store. I do the same thing with French bread. So if you've ever had Costco's yummy baguettes, or if Sam's Club has them, they have French baguettes or any kind of bread. I just slice it right away and stick it back in a freezer bag and stick it in the freezer. Right. I gotta focus on this and then I'm gonna show you because we'll have time once the chicken starts going. So I'm going to dump in the dry rub. The chicken's all cut up. Dump in the dry rub and I have my little spatula and just kind of toss it around there. Whoops, my earbud's falling out. Toss it around to make sure they're all coated. This is so fun. I always wanted a cooking show. Hello, this is my, okay, see what we at. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little more. I'm gonna do 5 more minutes for me. I think they need to be done just a little more. I'm gonna coat these with the dry rub. Toss them around. How you doing, Jan?
I'm okay. I'm just trying to keep up.
That's okay. And if you get behind, it's not a problem. I did some pre-prep.
Roasting. I agree with you. They need a couple more minutes because I cooked about the same time you did. But I'm behind on the dry rub. I'm trying to get that together now.
That's fine. Okay.
This is fun.
This is
Amy,
so fun.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's related to working in the kitchen, but it's not really about cooking.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, are you an extrovert?
Yes.
Is part of being in the kitchen lonely for you at all? Like, does that strike you as part of like the kitchen?
Yeah, maybe.
dynamic?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And let me just say where we live now, it's an open concept. So this is a peninsula that's right in front of me and I'm looking into our living room. And typically if there's like a game on or if there's people here, I love that. But very often, or when we were first married in our old house, it wasn't open. And that's of course really, really resisted going into the kitchen because it was, sad and lonely.
Yeah, I remember when I didn't have more of an open concept, I felt very isolated.
Yeah.
And there was a diminishing effect for me in the kitchen. So I thought that's worth saying.
Definitely. So how I've solved for it, along with this is like actually really fun so far. Like I am loving this. But I also call my sister. My sister Nancy lives in Poland, and this is the good time of day for us to connect because she's 6 hours ahead. So we'll jump on Zoom or FaceTime, and so we'll talk while I food prep. I also will listen to music. I love really fun music. Like I played around with some different playlists, and then I would just put it on my phone and have this speaker handy, some nice music playing, listening to podcasts. I'm always loving podcasts or book on an audiobook. Yeah, I've found ways to really make it work. So because I am now doing this for 4 hours or thereabouts, or 3 to 4 hours a week, I am really enjoying. I've found other ways to manage that, but that's really astute observation. That yes, that's no wonder it makes sense, right? No wonder we don't want to be stuck in the kitchen all afternoon.
Right.
Also, I found myself, one of the other things that happened recently was, or it would happen, I solved for this too, is I would get really cranky if it was a beautiful day. Like today, I would be so sad about being inside. Like look at you
That's
out
why I'm
there.
outside.
Yes, exactly. But here's how I solve for that. I
Okay.
make sure I get outside. I just make sure I take care of myself that way. I get outside in the morning. I get outside. I'll go outside for a walk this afternoon. I'll sit on our front porch later. I just make sure, like, especially exercise has really helped solve that for me. Knowing that I've already exercised today, I've been out, I've enjoyed the sun. It's okay that it's sunny still, because I know, especially in Pennsylvania, we don't always get these days where it's just glorious right now. I don't know, Kathy, it's one of those times. I don't know what October's like in Oklahoma, but we're having exceptionally beautiful days, like no clouds, just sun, such blue sky. The leaves are turning. It is glorious. It's so, so pretty. So, yeah, so that's how I manage it, is just, I, because I've found the value of food prep so much that I'm actually even willing to be inside on a sunny day, which is, let me just say, that's a big change for me. Okay, so here's the next step. And I don't know if you can see, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to just grab my tongs, and you're going to take the chicken and sort of spread it out. Let me see if I can, let me get, move this to the side. I'm going to get, I'll be right back. Top holder. All right, this pan is hot, so I normally just do it right over on the stove. But for the sake of today, so this is hot and sizzly. They're not, you can tell they haven't really turned yet. They will, but they will. Then what I do is I grab tongs and take the coated chicken and just spread them out on the sheet pan. And I actually have pictures of this part. And then as this chicken roasts, the rub from the chicken will flavor the vegetables. That's very fun. Oh yeah, I think I overdid the chicken too. I just realized that I normally double the recipe, so I did the whole bag. And I think I probably should have done a half a bag. Okay, well, that's all right. It's gonna be a little more chickeny. That's all right. Greg will love it. He loves this recipe so much. So yay, we found something that Greg likes. He knows he's a challenge, but he's adorable. Good thing he's so cute. But he'll be happy with this. So that goes on here. All right. And then that goes in, I'm going to start some hard-boiled eggs. So here's what I want to talk about with hard-boiled eggs. I don't know if you guys like them, but what I like about them is they're such an easy, simple source of protein. I love having them already hard-boiled. This is here. I don't want to burn myself. Let me just grab this. I'll throw them in. And then this goes in for, what did I say? 15 to 20 minutes. So you'll be able to tell. And it's still at that 400 degrees. And let me grab the eggs. I'll be right back. So I love them I love them plain. Well, let me just back up. I used to love them. They don't love me. Turns out they don't like my stomach. So I'm no longer eating hard-boiled eggs for me, but I'm making this batch for my mother-in-law for the week because she's diabetic and it's really hard sometimes to get her to eat a protein that is soft enough for her dental. She's got some, like I said, the dental thing for her teeth. I give her a hard-boiled egg along with her, she'll eat French toast or some pancakes or something. And instead of like sausage or bacon, she can't eat bacon because it's too crunchy. Hard-boiled egg is a nice little like add-on to like give a nice instant hit of protein. The other thing that I use it for is I'll chop it up and put it on avocado toast. So chopped up egg. I use like an egg chopper, good old fashioned. I just found this at the grocery store. It reminds me of like my mommy's. Have you ever seen one of these? It's like an egg slicer. You put it on one way and then you turn the egg and then the other way and it makes these little cubes. It's awesome. And put it on avocado toast. And then I sprinkle it with salt and pepper, like, fresh ground pepper and pepper flakes. So good on avocado toast. Oh my gosh. So good.
Do you make your own avocado mash?
What is that? Like just,
Oh, guacamole. Do you make your own? Like when
yeah,
you toast?
so I just do mashed avocados when I'm making the toast. I just do avocados. It's not guacamole. What do you do? I'm curious. And by the way, this is great because I love getting ideas. Go on. Yes.
So I went to there's an Amish market near us and they serve it was this avocado toast par excellence and it was the bagel covered with guacamole or avocado. I think it was just really straight avocado with cottage cheese on top and a little bit of pepper jam.
Huh.
And it was pretty
Wow.
amazing. So I just wonder what people do for their avocado. I use
That's
the single serve rip off.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
Okay.
I'll show you. Yeah. So this is how I deal with it. And then I want to show you my French bread thing too.
Okay.
But I get my bagels. I get mini avocados from Aldi's and they don't go bad. So I just cut up. So every day when I have my, you all know that I have a half a bagel, half of everything bagel with avocado slices on it. Let me just close my fridge. I just realized I forgot to close it. Avocado slices on it. So I just scoop out and I maybe use a quarter of this. I don't really love the taste of avocado, so I just use about a quarter of this or a half, depending. This will come into play. I also use the other half for the smoothie. I put avocado in my smoothie because it makes it really creamy and adds the fat, which is amazing. So that's why I buy these. I buy a bag of mini avocados. They last a really long time in the fridge, so I don't have to worry about it. But a shortcut is certainly wonderful. So I never thought about cottage cheese on it and the pepper jam. I have some and I didn't know what to do with it. So that's amazing no, what?
It's
It's
amazing.
good to buy.
Oh, that's amazing.
Good. Okay. So yeah, so there's that. This is the French bread. So I get a big baguette. I slice them into slices. So it does a couple things. It's not fresh, so I don't leave this out ever. It's always in the fridge. So you have an instant pattern interrupt. I'm like, man, I really want a slice of bread. Well, you have to wait for it to toast. So by that time, I'm like, whatever, it's too late. I'll just have a salad or I'll have something that I want. Or it just gives me a minute to wait. And I'll just put butter and some cheese or whatever you want on this thing. I'll have it with my salad. I use it to like sop up the salad dressing when I eat salad. But I just slice them into like these, like on the, diagonal, and they're ready to go and I'll have them forever. So, and they just go right in the freezer. The other thing I've been doing is I got some naan bread, NAAN. And I did the same thing with that. I just throw that in the toaster and I spread it with my hummus. It's one of my meals that I love to have for lunch. Everything I get, I just get a lot of it, cut it up and put it in the freezer. That's kind of like my little hack. So eggs are cooking. Let's see what I want to show you guys. Oh, I want to show you my fruit, how I do with the fruit. So these things are amazing. So I got these little containers at Costco. I'm just gonna get out all my food from the fridge here, because then we're gonna start salads soon anyway. But I don't know if you've ever seen these containers. When I buy fruit, I put them right in here. They have vents on the side if you need to ventilate them. These things come down if you need to get air into them. They're 3 parts. The bottom, I don't know if you can tell, is like a colander. So you can rinse it off and then it sits in here in this bottom section, and then it can go in the fridge without like all the water dripping all over everything. So they have a couple different sizes. And so I have grapes ready to go. They're washed and clean and easy to eat. And like as soon as I get them from the store, I don't even put them in the fridge. I just put them in this thing. So Jan, did you see this? Yep, go ahead. You have to unmute.
That's what I wanted to see again because I didn't see.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay. So their bottom is like a colander, so the water comes through here, and then it has this little tray that it sits in. So this has water in it. So you wash them in the sink. There's a lid. This is the lid. So it's 3 parts. This is the lid, and it has vents on the side. So it has like a little guide to see which needs to be vented and which doesn't. So that comes down if you do need to vent them or not. So here's my grapes. I have blueberries. Same thing. Blueberries are in here. As soon as I get them home, I wash them and throw them in here. Rinse them off in the little vent thing, with that thing, and strawberries. Same thing.
And where do you get these things?
I got these at Costco, but I think you can get them online now. They don't always, that's one of those things they don't always have at Costco. But they, I think my mother-in-law's caregiver got them online because she saw these and she's like, oh my gosh, because the strawberries don't go bad. So, yeah. And it was like the summer when she first got them. So we got that.
Amy, if you have time, do you think you could either post the brand or a link for us? Because I think
yes. Okay. Yes, I forgot to think about that. Let me make myself a note. I have a little cheat sheet here. Fruit thing. Yeah. Yes, I'll look that up and definitely post that in there. Not now. I have some other things I'm going to share now, but this one I'll share in the replay.
Okay.
Because I don't even know what it's called and all that stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for asking. That's a great question. So the other thing that I love to do while the eggs are cooking is making my salads ahead of time. So, oops, see, these are boiling. So I let you guys, we all know how to boil eggs. If you don't want to do eggs, that's totally fine. I'm just have to make them anyways. I'm making them for my mother-in-law. I boil them for 10 minutes. Oops. Wait, what am I doing? I just canceled off my thing. Okay, wait, what did I say? 15. Oh my gosh. 15 minutes. We're gonna go. Yeah, that's probably fine. What was I saying? What was I saying? That eggs. Oh, how I make eggs is I just boil them for 15 minutes or so. And then my sister told me this trick. My one sister, Jerry, you take them off the burner and put a lid on them for 30 minutes and just let them stay in the hot water for 30 minutes. And then I make an ice bath and I dump the eggs in the ice bath. It makes them really easy to peel. And then I put them in, I just have this little, I only do like 6 at a time. I just put them in here. After I take them out of the ice bath, I get just an old egg carton that I cut in half and I put HB all over it so that nobody is surprised. that they're like wanting the eggs for breakfast and it's not, what they were thinking. So,
I do that same thing, Amy, but I don't let them sit in the water for a half an hour. I just I boil them for 10 to 12 minutes and I put them right in the ice bath and it does the
okay.
same thing.
It
Yeah.
does the same thing. So
Yep.
I don't know where this 30-minute thing came from. It was her. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Well,
well,
there's so many different do this, do this, do
ways to
this.
do eggs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do they come out? They come out so that you can easily peel them every time,
Very
or
easy.
do they have the green ring around? You know how sometimes the yolk has green around it?
No.
No? Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't let them sit for 30 minutes after they boil. So they're boiling now. So I'm gonna let them boil for 12 minutes or something.
Yeah. In fact, in my family, I'm known for my
Yeah.
deviled
Okay.
eggs.
Then I'm going with
And
your thing then for sure. I knew this would happen. I'm so excited. This is awesome. Perfect.
And anyway, they look beautiful because you're right. They look terrible with that green ringish thing around.
So if that's what it is, so the
But,
ice bath is, I know the ice bath is key. So I just grab one of my mixing bowls and put some ice in it. So how long do you let them boil, Dan? Or
if I use jumbo, I'll let them go for like 12 minutes, but
okay,
it's like 10, 11, 12.
okay, and it doesn't, and they get done. That's good. Well,
Yes.
good to
Yeah.
know.
Especially
Okay.
you only have 6. So
Right. Let me grab some ice while I'm thinking. That's awesome. All right.
I bring mine to a boil and turn the heat off and put a lid on and leave them on the heat for about 15 minutes, 20, and then
Yeah.
peel them.
Okay, but do you put them in the ice bath too,
Oh,
or
I'm
you?
going to try that.
Okay,
Try
and
that.
that's like yours. It sounds like you do what I do, but I do the ice bath also. So yeah, I'm just doing it all the things. So here's the thing I do for my salad. So these are the snapware that I like to use for salad. So I've made a couple. I made a salad the other night for dinner and last night for some friends' dinner. So I had some left over. So they just go right in here. And so I'm going to make 2 more while we're cooking together. If you guys are ready to do that, that's great. And if not, that's fine too. Let me just, I'm gonna grab here's another trick. Have lots of extra things, like extra cutting boards and stuff. You might have a few more dishes, but that's okay.
How long?
Um,
How long do you bake the chicken once you put it on top of the
the
vegetable?
chicken is 15 to 20 minutes or until the vegetables are roasted, the fajitas are golden brown, and that's what it says in the recipe.
I tried to print the recipe off and it wouldn't print for some reason.
Okay,
My
that's fine.
printer.
I got you. Not a problem. I also wanted to show you guys this. When I got celery home, I also cut celery up when I got that home from the store the last time I went. So I put that, this is another Snapware container. So I cut celery in. This is great with peanut butter. Or when I'm ready to make tuna salad, it's already cut, it's already clean. Because this is the thing. I'm all anti, like, ugh, I gotta wash the celery so that I can cut it up for the tuna salad. And then I'm like, never mind, I'll just have peanut butter and jelly. So now I can you just cut them up into cubes or, dice them for anything you need them for. They're already clean and ready to go. And they last in here a nice long time. I also did this with tomatoes. These are sugar peas, which I'm going to put in my salads. That's why I got them out. Some sugar peas that you can just throw them. They're already, when I got them home, I peeled them and got the stringies off. And so you can just chuck them in if you're having them cooked, you can throw them in a pot of boiling water, or I'm going to put them in my salad. And same thing with tomatoes. These just happen to be left over. So there's that. Oh, and the lettuce that I get, so a couple different things that I do with lettuce. So baby arugula that you get already washed. There's a new lettuce and the empty containers out in the garage. I meant to bring it in. It's called Little Greens or something. They have it at Walmart. I've just seen it at Giant. I just got it at Giant. It's really crunchy. It's really green. It's really fresh, already washed. So nice that you don't have to wash. I'm like, not that I'm anti-washing things, but sometimes you just don't have time. So it's a nice option and it comes in a container like this called Little something. Anyway, I'll put that in the link. Link that up. The other thing that I love is baby romaine, which I did have to wash. And that's what I'm using that as well. It lasts for a really long time. And this is what we're going to use next time. I'm going to make a recipe in the future called where you can use the lettuce for wraps. I cut this all up for salad, but they're like this big, really firm. So they're not like a normal romaine leaf. They're called baby romaine. They're so good for wraps. They're really good as a non flour option for the fajitas. If you want to put those in the baby romaine wraps, you can just have the fajitas any old way. But if you want to try not to have them with your flour thing or your corn tortilla, that's another option. We're going to be making mushu chicken wraps, and that's what I use those for. If you've ever had one of those meat wraps from PF Chang's, that's what they use. I think something like that. So these, I just love baby romaine. And so what I do, the other products that I just love, I love almost as much as my garbage bowl is my salad spinner. I've had it for years and it's from OXO. It is amazing. It makes your lettuce really dry. You just put it in here and I'm not going to do it now because it's really loud. So I did it ahead of time. And you just spin it dry and it rinses it off really well and goes real fast. So that's my other product that if you guys are interested, I'll let you know where to find that. I'm sure Amazon has all this stuff. So, Greg, speaking of Greg, he loves tacos and he doesn't like the way I make them. So I don't make them for him because he prefers his way. That's why I don't make them. But these are his tacos that he made last week. So they're for him. So this is a leftover pizza that I got. Okay. Just like diving into the fridge. So fun. Okay. Let's see. Where am I? I think I've got 5 more minutes on the eggs. Or is that for the other thing? Now I'm getting confused. Let's see. Yeah, 5 or 6 minutes. Let me just check on the fajitas. They're looking good. So once they're done and they cool off, I use another product, which is same product. It's tapware. We just use one of these big ones and we keep them in this for the week. And then you can just go and grab with some tongs, you grab put some fajitas and cook them up. I have glass ones of these. They're all being used right now. So I don't put these in the microwave, but if I had the glass one, I would just put the whole thing in the microwave if you wanted to. Or I might put them in this one. I have glass. There's a glass snapware square, but that's not going to be big enough. So I have to have the big one for that. So there's that. Let's see. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna just finish my 2 salads, which the bowls are, where did I put them? Oh, here. So while we're cooking, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Any other questions, anything coming up for you? Or do you guys have other ideas or ways that you like to do food prep?
I think for me, I've gone to strictly square or rectangle containers because they fit better in my refrigerator.
Then the circles. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my weirdness coming through. It makes me happy to see everything lining up.
I
So
hear that.
my
Except
thing.
here's the only thing. I can't eat a salad out of a square container.
Oh my.
Like that's like against the law. So
I understand the rule.
I'm just saying, so for me, that probably wouldn't work. But so that's what the round ones, I just eat right out of these. So that's why they are those. And let me just say that makes a lot. So if you have a place that you have to go and you want to take a salad, so nice to just dump in. Not that I did that for a recent visit that I went on. I didn't, but I could have. You make them ahead of time. And then if you're making like a big salad for a big group of people, you just grab them and you dump them in there. All the veggies are already cut. It makes you feel like, oh, I want to have people over. I don't have to start from scratch. The salads are already done. I can focus on my company. I can focus on the chicken or the other part of the meal because this is done. I don't have to think about it. It's so nice. So I'm just putting the lettuce in there. I just oh, you can't see. Hang on. Let me move this. So when I do my food prep, so I already have, like I said, I already have 4 salads made. I just line up my bowls right in the front of my cutting board. And then I just start, it's like an assembly line. I just start throwing in the lettuce. Here's some. Sometimes I chop it with a knife, sometimes I tear it, doesn't matter. This is that other one. This is what it looks like. It's like called Little Farms, little something curly leaf lettuce. It's so good. It's very delicate. It's like a baby leaf lettuce. It's delicious. Already cleaned. So fun.
So you don't
And
measure
no,
the lettuce.
no. It just whatever looks good. Yeah. Just whatever looks good. But when it's full enough, and then because I want to make sure I have room for all the other stuff. I also blot it off with a paper towel. So normally with these baby romaine, which I'm going to do another time, I wrap them in paper towels, and that keeps them really dry. That's why there's paper towels in here. And it helps keep the lettuce longer. I'm all about, the longevity. So, and my cucumber, I'm just going to cut up a cucumber. An opening. And then I have some tomatoes I'm going to add.
So Amy,
that.
how do you navigate if you have, let's say your Sunday is thrown off and it's prep day? How do you manage? Do you just scoot it to another day, or do you have another strategy?
That's a great question. Yes. So Sunday might not be the best day for you. Like you need to figure out what is. Sundays, I played around with other things and I just really love Sundays. But absolutely, in fact, last Sunday where was I? We were traveling or something. Oh, my sister was here for a visit, and then we had some other things going on. So I did not get my food prepped till Monday. So I just did them I just put an hour or 2 aside and just told myself that's when it was going to happen. And it did. So that worked out just fine. I think I could use more cucumbers here. So yeah, that's a really good question. I think it doesn't matter what day it is. I think it is good to give it the time and space it deserves. It's a priority. It's, just making a decision that this is important, and just making some space and time for it in your life has been really useful for me to think of it that way, instead of like, oh, I have to do this, or it takes so long, or I'm going to be lonely in the kitchen, or any of those things. One of the things that has been really helpful for me, a thought that has been super helpful for me, is my Sunday girl has my Wednesday girls back. This is my Sunday girl. Right now, what we're doing is we're helping out our future self by having nutritious food, easy to access. And that's such a lush, amazing feeling. And I'm so proud of myself for doing all this work, because it's going to really pay off, and it's going to show up on the scale, and, all that stuff. Like, just really talking to yourself kindly about it is super, super, can be a big game changer. That, at least it is for me. So, all right, I just added some cucumbers. Now I'm adding I'm just going to what I do is I cut them in thirds, these little sugar peas.
Amy, question about the fajitas. Do you have to stir them while they're in the oven or anything?
Nope, you don't do anything. You
Okay.
just leave it
Cool.
alone. Yeah, I
Cool.
know, right? I
Yes.
think they're looking pretty good. I think they're getting close. I think, let me just see. Where is the other one? Oh no, don't tell me I stopped it again. Well, I should have just put it on the oven, because I did it on my watch and now I can't find it. That's okay. It's probably close to done. Here, I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll And I think some of it is, it said 15 to 20. I think it could be done more. I like my veggies a little bit more dark. It does say to pour off if there's juice. So I do actually have a little bit of juice. So I'm going to go ahead and pour off some of the fat into the sink very carefully. And then I'm going to put it back in for just a little bit more because we don't want it to boil, like that's one of the things that makes it, we want it crispy. So I don't think you can go wrong with just throwing it in a little bit more. I'm gonna set this timer for I'll just do another 4 minutes and then and check it again. But yeah, good question, Jan. Thanks for asking. How you guys doing? Are they getting close to being done? I can't see. I guess. Yeah, okay. Oh, this is so fun. Okay. So I'm trying to think. So some other things. So what do you guys is there anything that you have especially you think, oh, well, this can't be prepped ahead of time? Anything that comes up for you that's like, yeah, well, but what about this? Or what about this other thing that you would do it, but you can't make it ahead of time? Anything coming up for anybody like that? No? That's okay too.
Amy,
Yeah.
not that I can't do ahead of time, but that I wish I had done ahead of time, because I tend to like to cook simply too, and don't have, I don't know, like if you look at my kitchen, I have a lot of counter space and it's all used. There's
Yeah.
something everywhere. It's funny. But yeah, I would have put together like the dry rub ahead of time, which I didn't do, and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, as far as like a meal in general that you think, well,
Oh,
that's
wow.
not going to keep. That's what I was kind of getting at. That's okay.
Sorry.
Either way. No, you're fine. If there's like some type of food, or is there something that you love that you thought, oh, well, this would be a good idea for food prep that you hadn't thought of before, maybe?
Hmm.
Because we do everything, like burgers. If we make hamburgers, we make a bunch and throw them in the fridge. If we make chicken, we make a bunch and throw it in the fridge. If we make, I don't know, whatever you normally make, meatloaf, obviously, meatloaf's better the next day, quite frankly. Meatloaf sandwiches, so delicious. I love them. Oh, I know what I was going to share. The other thing I do is because I've got 3 different people with 3 different tastes in my world right now, I buy prepackaged. I do a lot of prepackaged meals. So that are homemade-ish. So Costco has really good shepherd's pie and chicken pot pie. And my mother-in-law, it's perfect for her because of her teeth. So she loves those. This is something that Greg would never eat in a million years. Let me just say, in a gajillion years, he would never eat that. So sometimes I'll share that with her. I'll put it on my plan and share it with her. And you can freeze that stuff. So what I do is we buy the big, and by the way, of course, Costco, it's ginormous. It weighs heavy, it's heavier than my kid. Like it's ridiculous. There's so much food in these these pie things. And so I bake it and we have our first meal that's fresh. And then I put it in one of my Snapware things and put the rest in the freezer. And we can eat off of that for weeks to come. And she loved it. And now the pie crust does get a little soggy. I'm not gonna lie, but that's one of those, like, it's a payoff, right? Like you could either make a fresh pot pie every time, or you could have maybe a little bit of a soggy crust and just deal with it. So what were you gonna say, Kathy?
I love doing stuff like that. I have a freezer full of soups and some stuff frozen in portion meatballs, frozen in portion sizes.
Yeah.
I don't feel,
Oh,
I live alone. I don't know. I don't want to cook every day. So it's so easy just to decide what you
yeah,
want for dinner and take it out of the freezer.
so good. I love that.
Have you had
Amazing.
luck freezing cheeses?
Yeah, so shredded, yes. I do. So anytime I do let this here. anytime I do, a little bit longer. Uh, I like cheddar cheese or really nice Parmesan. I buy the fresh Parmesan or fresh cheddar at a store. I grate it and then put it right in the freezer. And if you buy it already grated, that's fine. But they coat it in some kind of stuff to make it not stick. So I really love doing it myself and that's one of my food prep things. I have some Parmesan, freshly shredded Parmesan in there. And you can get really nice cheese and shred it and put it in there. I don't know about sliced cheese. I actually haven't tried that. Have
I
you
don't
guys?
eat. Yeah, I don't eat
Okay.
sliced cheese, so
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Or
I'm
just like,
you know, that convenient sliced cheese that you buy.
no, yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
eat that either.
I will eat a nice Swiss sliced or something like that.
Right. But that's what I was getting at. Like, not necessarily slice, but cheese, just eat as cheese slices for like a sandwich,
Mhm.
or even if it's cheddar or Swiss. Have you ever tried freezing those? I don't know what that would.
I
I
haven't.
bet if you put parchment paper between them, that could work. I bet that would work. You guys
Yeah.
have any ideas? I haven't tried that yet. I ate it too fast. I have Havarti in there right now to have with, I got some prosciutto. I love Havarti and prosciutto with some uh, Dijon mustard on a, you know, piece of really good French bread or really yummy bread. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, so I'm adding peppers now to my salads. So and I'm also going to be slicing some peppers to have. So I got the big 6-pack I wanted to show you. I knew I needed 3 for for the fajitas, and I knew I wanted some for my salads. And I'm going to have another one that I'm going to put in this container to dip into hummus. So that's one of my other meals that I like to eat is hummus, which we're not doing that one today, but I already have it made from last week. So we have a lot
Amy,
of
can
food.
you speak to like I'm listening to the stuff that you're eating. I'm like, really? Is that like your and I know that like you say there's no bad foods. I get that.
Yeah,
And I'm in a time of reducing
yeah.
the kinds of things that you're talking about, like breads and cheeses and things like that. Is that something that you step into in maintenance mode or just any
No,
mode?
no, I didn't change anything. I ate sweets every day as I was losing weight. I ate all the bread, all the cheese. I ate food that I wanted to eat. It's really so much about emotional eating versus and noticing your hunger signals and not overeating and leaving, throwing things out if you need to, leaving bites behind for me. Now, some people have very bad reactions to flour or sugar. They have inflammation as a result of it, or they have something going on. That's different. I've noticed for me, it doesn't affect my body in any way, except maybe with sugar, I may from time to time have a little bit more craving than another time than if I didn't have sugar. But it's not enough for me to make that much of a difference. Especially now that I'm getting really good at waiting for hunger. I think we're gonna call this done. That's what mine look like.
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
Yay. And this is ready. So I'm just gonna let this cool on top of the stove before I put it in the container. So I'll do that off air. You guys don't need to see that. So I'm just finishing my salads and then, oh my goodness, I gotta do my smoothie. So I want to show you guys the smoothie and I'll cut my peppers for the hummus thing. But yeah, one of the things that for me was a non-negotiable was cutting out specific food groups. I thought I don't want to be on any kind of feeling any restriction of any type of food that I can't eat, or I know that's not going to be sustainable for me. And that really did hold true. Literally, it was how I was willing to think about it. And as I go down the scale, I just eat less. Really, it's just that simple. I just don't need as much food. So I'll be right back. I'm just throwing these in the fridge so they're ready to go. There we go. Yeah. right, so. Here. Okay. Lastly, I just want to go through it won't take long to talk about my smoothie. So this is something that I've been, especially when I was working, eating out of my car all the time. I would have to come up with something that I could eat easily in the car, like a sandwich or a salad just wasn't really an option. So this is something I could make and I could sip on it. And the way I choose to do it is I actually make a larger amount and then it lasts for a couple days. So if you have a normal blender, you could make a quadruple it. Try it out and see if you like it. If leftover, some people, my sister Sue said that her smoothie recipe separated. I guess the type of stuff she used made it separate. Mine seemed fine. The other thing is, this is important because of the color. It looks kind of nasty. I use an opaque drinking thing because I can't drink it if I'm looking at something that looks gray. And the only reason it's gray is because I put blueberries in it. Like that's really the only reason that it's gray. Like doesn't have to be a yucky color. It just is because it's a combination of kale. So this is what I do. I buy the chopped kale. This is just right out of the grocery store. I haven't even opened this one yet. So I'm gonna finish. This is from my yard. I have the kale plant outside of my mother-in-law's house. Every time I walk by, just grab some leaves and put them in. So this is this is what's left over from this. And then that's not quite enough. So I'm gonna open the new bag. And here's why I wanted to talk about this. So kale has some woody, big, thick, woody pieces to it. Like that. I don't eat that because they don't grind up very well and they're very bitter. They're kind of like chewy. So I grab my garbage bowl and I chuck those in there. So when you get the container that looks like this, I throw this right in the freezer. I just got this out of the freezer. I put it right in the freezer. It's kind of crunchy. I just break it up and all those woody pieces come off of the leaf and they just float to the bottom or they become really easy to see. So then as I'm pouring it into my smoothie thing, I just throw them in the garbage. So here's a piece. So like even that, like normally what I did in the past, and this is where one of those things where I found an easier way to do it. I would take the leaf out because we would grow it. I took the leaf out, I would spread them out and I would slice like a triangle and slice up all the stems and it would take forever. I would wash them and all that stuff. Now I just buy them from the grocery store, already washed, already done. The stems come right off. I don't have to cut anything. Yeah, here's a big one that goes right in the trash. So basically about a cup-ish goes in the bottom of my thing. And then I'm just gonna get a closer for this. Get it. And then I put some protein powder in. So here's another, oh no, first, then I put fruit in. And so I take bananas. Whenever I get bananas, I always buy extras because they're cheap. And then here's an important trick because I didn't do this the first time. You got to peel them and slice them ahead of time because it doesn't work if you put them in without peeling them. It's a mess. I don't know if anyone's ever made banana. The good news is I can make banana bread anytime I want. So they're frozen. And so they're nice and cold. Put in the recipe that I'm going to link to is the Fab Four smoothie. She suggests about a quarter cup of fruit. I might do a little bit more than that. I'm like not religious about it. These are my blueberries from my father-in-law. He froze these. They're not from his yard, but he bought them and froze them. God bless them. We have like a half a freezer full downstairs. So I will be having blueberries for a very long time. Then I put in the protein powder. So I just buy this brand from Costco. It's a really big one. About 20 bucks, 25 bucks. It was on sale. And then normally I put in a teaspoon of chia seeds. Like you could do any type of fiber of choice. Your options are chia seeds. These are some flax. This is brown flax seed is another option, or whole flax seeds are another option for the fiber part of it. as a hack, I just added the chia seeds to my protein powder. It's one less, because it's one less spoon I have to get out. So you can see there's chia seeds in there. So, because I like, it's one more thing. It's one more step that I'm like, good, I don't have to do that now. So is it exactly a tablespoon? I don't know. It probably isn't. So the serving is for 2 of these. So 2 scoops of the protein powder. And this says it's 160 calories for 2 scoops, if that matters. I don't really count calories.
I'm sorry, is that
Then-
flavored or just plain?
This is vanilla. They have vanilla or chocolate. I've actually seen coffee or other, but I really just love the vanilla, especially because I'm putting fruit in it. The chocolate I've done with peanuts with it. It's fine if you like that. But I turned out I don't really enjoy the chocolate, so I don't buy it anymore. Then I take my my quarter of avocado. So you know what? I had some for my breakfast this morning. Let me grab it. So what I do is when I eat a half, because I don't eat the whole thing, I just wrap it in cellophane and then it's ready to go. So this is perfect. There's a quarter of an avocado left. Yes, it's a little brown. Who cares? Nobody's gonna see it. It's just gonna go right in here. So I know some people get like grossed out by that, but it doesn't bother me. Because that is something that with avocados, if you eat a portion of it, whatever's left, you can tell it gets a little brown, but it doesn't change the flavor. It just looks different. It just kind of doesn't look great, but it doesn't matter to me. So that just goes in there. And this is what makes it really thick and creamy. Just don't want to get the skin or anything in there. So there's that. Then I put in what's left. Let me think. Some nuts. I also add, just again for fat, I might add peanuts. Instead, some people put peanut butter in, but I decided you could just put peanuts in and it doesn't get sticky all over the place. So again, hack. Cashews are really nice because they don't have a lot of flavor. So you get the flavor of the fruit and flavor of the other things, but it also adds a nice extra bit of protein. Then I put some ice in it, like a crushed ice. So you can't see me, but I'm over at my freezer getting crushed ice. If it's gonna crush. Anyway, okay, it's not looking like it's working, so. It's there. So tested this out ahead of time. So I just get crushed ice. So we have an outdoor, on the outside of my freezer. I do crushed ice. I don't know that it matters. I could probably do regular ice. And the only reason I do that is because I want it to be extra thick. I like it really thick. I like it to be really thick tasting. And then I use plain almond milk. It's plain unsweetened almond milk. It's only 30 calories. It has 1 carb as opposed to regular milk, which is higher in carbs. And it has but only also has 1 gram of protein, which is why you have to like bulk up the protein in the shake. I actually accidentally got vanilla, so I'm gonna go get that one. This one's not open yet. So yeah, so then that's it. And then I blend it up for about a minute. So that's how I do my smoothie. And I have a chopstick because it makes to mix it up. So see how it like kind of gets caught here, like on the edges. So I just do that. And then I have I don't know if you guys have a NutriBullet, but it has like a little line here that you can't go above it because I tried that. It's a mess. You don't want to do that. There's that. There. So I just gotta break it up and then I'll blend it. I'm not gonna do it today, right, while we're on. You guys don't need to see it. You don't need to hear that. It's a big loud mess. But that's how I do that. Any questions about the smoothie and when I eat it or any questions?
I was just thinking, I wonder if you could do all that prep, throw it in a Ziploc bag and throw it in the freezer and then just pull everything out minus your liquid, I guess, and just toss it in the blender.
I don't know. I will just say I do blend it And it does last for a few days, where in the past I would feel like I'd have to make it fresh. And that's why I kind of came up with the only two dry things. I guess you could put nuts in here too, right? You could throw some nuts or anything dry and just have one less, like just do a scoop of it or something. I don't know. But yeah, good idea. So that's that. I think it's all I'm gonna do for right now. For those of you who are interested, I'll drop in a link to the Lose It Forever weight loss program. You can join us on Thursdays at 7. It's so fun. We have a great time. I realized we were getting really late on time. I didn't know how long this would take, and now I'm realizing it's quite a while. So I think I'm going to tie some things up. Does anyone have any questions or anything else that you would like to know? Have you guys all done your chicken? Everything, the chicken's all out and you're good to go. So now you have meals. So, I did get, I don't know if you like flour tortillas, I got these to have with it. There's also some limes. Oh, I just realized I forgot the oil. That's all right. I always forget something. You know how I said to split the oil in half and there's a second thing of oil? There it is. I forgot it. All right. Anyway, they'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Lime, a squeeze of lime on there. Delicious. I like to add salsa and sour cream and a little bit of a squeeze of lime to my fajitas when I eat them, and I put them in these little tortilla thingies. What they're fajita flour tortillas, but you can get corn or something else that you might like, or not any at all. Okay, any questions?
If you store any leftover of that, you just put it in one of those containers.
Yes. So whatever you don't eat today goes in one of those big containers, and then we eat off of that the rest of the week. We take tongs, like we have these little tongs, and then we put it in a bowl and heat it up. This will not last long because Greg will eat a lot of these. I think something tells me that they won't last long. It's good. I probably should have just done a double batch. So yeah, delicious. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It's a blast, and it made food prep so fun. Since I had to do it anyway, I'm really glad you guys were here with me. It was great. I love to see you. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Take care.
Thanks, Amy.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you, everyone.
All
Bye.
right, thanks. Bye.